Welcome to Cheetah Confessions. Today's story starts in Chicago. I was attending a 3-day client training, sitting alone in the hotel lounge with my laptop, when Naomi's message popped up, "We need to talk when you get back. I've made a mistake." That's it. No explanation, no follow-up. Just that single line staring back at me like a warning. I froze for a good 30 seconds, then called her. No answer. Tried again, straight to voicemail. Back home, it was 7:42 p.m., and she should have been at the house. Nothing. No response, no text. I sat there for 10 more minutes before closing my laptop and retreating to my room. I had a flight home scheduled for the next evening, but I changed it to the first available one at 1 a.m. Naomi and I had been together for 6 years. She was 32, 2 years younger than me, and worked in marketing at a mid-sized ad agency downtown. Her life had been structured: yoga on Thursdays, book club Tuesdays, Friday lunches with coworkers. Everything normal, everything predictable, until now. The next morning, I landed just after 9 a.m. Walking through the front door, the house appeared untouched. Naomi was in the kitchen, standing near the counter. She didn't look surprised. Just hollow. "Ronald," she said softly. "You came back early." "Yeah," I replied, keeping my voice steady. "You said you made a mistake." She nodded and slid into a chair at the kitchen table without asking about my trip. Then she looked up at me and said, "I'm pregnant." Silence. Heartbeat after heartbeat. "And it's not yours," she added. I pulled a chair over slowly and sat down. "Say that again," I said. "It was a mistake," she murmured. "I didn't mean for it to happen." I said nothing. I just waited. "It's Trevor," she admitted. "From my team. We were working late one night, things got blurred. I never planned for it to go that far." I knew the name. I'd seen him in work event photos. I recalled how casually Naomi had mentioned him. "Trevor helped me with the presentation," or "Trevor's such a perfectionist." Those words now hit differently. "You have every right to be angry," she whispered. "I just thought you should know." I nodded once, then stood and walked out of the kitchen. That first night, I slept in the guest room. I didn't raise my voice. Naomi knocked on the door around 11 p.m., softly asking, "Can we just talk for a minute?" I stayed silent. The next morning, she left for work as if nothing had happened. I heard her car pull away and just sat at the kitchen table, watching. Then I began moving. I logged into every shared account, streaming services, utilities, subscriptions, and changed all the passwords. Naomi had moved into my house 4 years ago. I'd purchased it before we met, and she'd never contributed to the mortgage. That independence now felt like a relief. By noon, I had 3 folders spread across the dining table, one for legal documents, one for finances, one for anything she might claim, photos of jewelry, receipts, itemized lists. I wasn't planning a conversation. I was planning an exit. That afternoon, I called an attorney I knew from a former client. I explained everything. After hearing me out, he confirmed it: the house was mine. No joint accounts, no shared assets, no legal claim. Naomi had nothing. He advised me to stay organized, keep records, remain calm, and never give her an opening to twist the situation. At 3:15 p.m., Naomi texted, "Can we please talk tonight? I'm so sorry, Ronald. I want to fix this." I didn't respond. Instead, I went to the basement, dug out an extra set of suitcases, and began packing her belongings. By the time she returned that evening, 3 suitcases were lined up in the hallway, zipped, labeled, ready. She froze at the doorway. "What is this?" she asked. I was in the kitchen, sipping water. "Your things," I said. "Guest room closet, bathroom drawers, all your shoes, everything you brought or bought here." Her mouth opened, but no sound came out. "You need somewhere else to stay," I continued. "Take your things and leave. You have 48 hours. Her jaw tightened. "What? We should talk." "No," I interrupted. "You made your choice. This is mine." "You're kicking me out," she whispered. "I'm asking you to leave." She snapped, "It was one mistake, Ronald. One night. Are you seriously ending everything over that?" I didn't flinch. You didn't just make a mistake. You got pregnant by someone else, waited until I was out of town to tell me, and then expected a conversation. That wasn't a mistake. That was deliberate. Her hands shook. Fear, anger. I didn't care. You can't throw away 6 years. I didn't. You did, I said quietly. The next day, while she was out, I found her planner on the nightstand. Inside was the ultrasound image. I knew Trevor's department at the same company Naomi worked for. I printed his name on an envelope, slipped the photo inside, added a sticky note, "Congratulations. She's all yours now. Handle your problem." I sent it via next-day delivery, urgent, no signature required. No reply was needed. By Friday morning, Naomi was gone. She loaded the suitcases into a rideshare without telling me where she was headed. I didn't ask. A note sat on the kitchen counter. "I hope someday you'll understand. I still love you." I dropped it in the shredder. That weekend, I blocked her number. I had no interest in apologies or speeches. But Naomi wasn't finished. On Sunday, a text came from an unknown number. "This is Kelsey, Naomi's best friend. You seriously kicked her out while she's pregnant? Are you a monster?" Another followed minutes later. "You can't just abandon someone because they slipped up," a text from Kelsey read. "She's heartbroken. She thought you were forever." I blocked the number immediately. Later that afternoon, an email arrived from Naomi's mother. Subject: "From a mother to a man with a heart." I didn't open it. The supporters were starting to rally, each one trying to paint me as the villain for refusing to fix a mess I didn't create. That evening, my younger sister Ellen called. She'd kept her distance so far, but her tone now was careful, probing. "You okay?" she asked. "I'm fine," I replied. A pause. "Just wanted to check. People are talking, rumors going around." I didn't push for details. After hanging up, I sat in quiet for a while. The storm hadn't ended, it had just shifted course. Out of curiosity, I checked Naomi's Instagram. She hadn't blocked me, but all comments were turned off. No new posts, just the usual curated images. Something was unraveling, but I wasn't chasing it. By midweek, things escalated. My credit card company called about an account I'd nearly forgotten, a backup card Naomi still had access to. 2 suspicious charges had been attempted, $1,376 at the Wyndham Plaza Hotel and a high-end online boutique purchase. Both were unauthorized and declined. The account was frozen, a new card issued. I thanked the representative, noting the attempt as another test. I called my lawyer that afternoon and sent screenshots, charge alerts, and the statement showing she had tried to use the card after I asked her to leave. "Good," he said. "Keep records. If she escalates, you'll be ready." And escalate she did. 3 days later, 2 police officers knocked on my door. Naomi had reported that I was withholding her property, a silver laptop and a few personal items she claimed were valuable. I stepped aside and let them in calmly. I pulled up my phone and showed a photo log, every suitcase packed, labeled, time-stamped. One picture clearly displayed the silver laptop neatly inside her luggage. The officers exchanged a glance. It was clear they were dealing with a breakup, not theft. I gave a concise statement, leaving no room for misinterpretation. They left unconvinced by Naomi's claim. She was trying to manipulate the situation, to provoke me, to paint herself as a victim. It didn't work. That night, Kelsey called again from a new number. She has nowhere to stay. She cries herself to sleep. I told her she should contact her father. "You're scaring me too." She didn't care. I hung up. The following week brought a fragile quiet. Not peace, but the calm after a storm. I kept the house in order, ate better, slept better, but the outside chaos still leaked in. A former colleague of Naomi's messaged me on LinkedIn. "You dodged a grenade. That thing with Trevor blew up. HR got involved. His wife confronted him. The package you sent landed hard. Naomi got pulled into meetings. Whole office scandal. Kelsey tried one last time. She's at her parents' now. Nothing, no car, no job. Trevor won't answer. His wife threatened a restraining order. I didn't respond. Then a handwritten letter from Naomi's mother arrived via certified mail. Ronald, please. She's depressed. Not eating. Crying all night. You loved her once, help her, even a little. I scanned it, filed it with the rest, and emailed it to my lawyer. Within 24 hours, a cease and desist letter was drafted and sent to Naomi, her mother, and Kelsey. It outlined the timeline, the fraud attempts, and the false police report. Final warning: any further contact would result in legal action. After that, everything stopped. Calls, messages, visits, gone. Quiet finally arrived. I repainted the master bedroom. Naomi had chosen a pale, dusty green she called sage. I went with a deep navy, clean, bold, entirely mine. 2 months had passed since Naomi's message that began it all. What I once thought was the end now felt like a beginning. One clear decision, deliberate action, unflinching control. Not revenge, not rage, just authority over my own life. Finally, I changed the locks. Not because I feared Naomi returning, she wouldn't, but because I wanted the house fully reset, under my control. At 9:17 p.m., I poured a glass of whiskey and sat on the back porch. The silence didn't feel empty anymore. It felt deserved. 3 months later, I ran into Sammy, an old colleague in finance. Ronald, he said, spotting me. It's been a while. We made small talk. Then he lowered his voice. So, Naomi. I saw her at a get-together last weekend. She's been telling everyone you kicked her out, humiliated her, ruined her life. Didn't even give her a chance. I raised an eyebrow. Sounds accurate. Sammy blinked. Wait, really? Yes. She lied, cheated, got pregnant by another man. I removed her. No yelling, no drama, just action. He whistled quietly. She didn't mention the pregnancy part. Of course not, I said. He nodded slowly. Well, that makes a lot more sense now. We parted calmly. Naomi had constructed her story of victimhood. People like her do that. They can destroy a life and still cry over the ashes. Let them. The house was mine again. No ghosts, no tears, just quiet, intentional living. I never heard from Naomi again. I didn't need to. One message had started a war. My response was silence, decisive action, and a locked door. She thought I'd bend, but I didn't. I ended it. I didn't live trapped in her chaos. Thank you for watching.